Karen had always prided herself on being an attentive mother, the kind who could sense when something was off with her children. With 3 kids, ages ranging from 12 to 16, she had developed a sixth sense. She could tell when her youngest, Max, was feigning innocence about a broken vase, or when her middle child, Sophia, was hiding her latest crush. But Ella, her eldest, was a puzzle wrapped in an enigma, an introspective soul who had recently begun to retreat into her own world. Karen often watched her daughter with a sense of wonder, admiring her creativity and depth. Yet, lately, there was an elusive shadow in Ella's eyes, one that Karen couldn't quite decipher. Before we dive deeper into their story, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support means everything to us and is the key to sharing these compelling tales of family, resilience, and the struggles we all face. So please hit that subscribe button now. One evening, as the golden hues of sunset filtered through the kitchen window, Karen found herself rummaging through an old tablet that had been collecting dust in a corner. The device was a relic from when the kids were younger, filled with old family photos and videos, moments frozen in time that made her heart swell with nostalgia. She was scrolling through the digital scrapbook, reminiscing about birthday parties, family vacations, and the countless silly faces her children had made over the years. But as she navigated through the apps, a notification caught her eye. It was an Instagram icon, one she hadn't seen before. Curiosity piqued. She clicked on it, thinking it might be a forgotten app that belonged to one of her children. What she discovered, however, was a completely different world, a secret account belonging to Ella. At first, she was met with familiar images of her daughter laughing at a picnic or posing with her friends at school. But as she scrolled further, the tone shifted dramatically. The photos that followed were raw and haunting. Each image depicted a different side of Ella, one that Karen had never witnessed. There was a photograph of her daughter curled up on her bed, tears streaming down her cheeks, the dim light of the room casting shadows that seemed to mirror the heaviness in her heart. Another showed Ella hiding in a school restroom, her face a mask of despair, with the caption revealing a heart-wrenching plea for understanding. Karen's heart sank as she realized the depth of her daughter's pain. Bullying, isolation, and unreciprocated friendships lay bare in those digital snapshots. Karen's breath hitched in her throat. She felt as though she had stumbled upon a well-kept secret that had been hidden away in the shadows, a world where her daughter's struggles and fears lived unacknowledged. Each post was a reflection of Ella's internal battle, a silent scream for help that had eluded her mother's notice. The emotional weight of the photos settled heavily on Karen, making her acutely aware of the gulf that had formed between her and her daughter. As she continued to scroll, she found more poignant messages, quotes about loneliness, the pain of feeling invisible among her peers, and a longing for connection that seemed to echo in every line. Karen's heart ached with each revelation, the realization that Ella had been suffering in silence for far too long. It was a stark contrast to the vibrant young woman she believed she knew, the one who had always filled their home with laughter and creativity. The disconnect was unsettling, prompting a wave of guilt to wash over her. Had she been so consumed with the daily bustle of life that she had neglected to notice the signs? In that moment, Karen felt a fierce determination rising within her. She would not let her daughter face this alone any longer. This hidden world of heartache and despair would not remain a secret. Karen vowed to reach out, to break down the barriers of silence that had formed between them. She needed to confront Ella, to let her daughter know that she was not alone, that her struggles were seen and validated. But how could she approach this delicate subject without causing further pain? The thought of how to start that conversation weighed heavily on her mind as she put the tablet down. She knew that it was essential to approach Ella with compassion and understanding, to create a safe space where her daughter could express herself freely. But the fear of what her daughter might feel, the fear of shattering the fragile trust between them, was palpable. Night fell, and the house was quiet, save for the occasional creak of the floorboards. Karen found herself unable to sleep, her thoughts swirling like a tempest. She replayed the images over and over in her mind. each one a poignant reminder of the struggles Ella faced. What if she had missed other signs? What if Ella had felt this way for months, maybe even years? The weight of these questions pressed down on her, fueling her resolve to act. The next morning, she decided to take a different approach. Rather than confronting Ella directly about the Instagram account, she would create an opportunity for an open dialogue. Over breakfast, she casually asked about Ella's friends, who they were, what they enjoyed doing together. She listened intently, watching for any flicker of emotion on her daughter's face, hoping to gauge how Ella truly felt about her social life. As they talked, Karen noticed moments of hesitation in Ella's responses. A slight frown when discussing a particular classmate, a quick change of subject when asked about social outings. It was subtle, but it was there. The more they talked, the more Karen realized that Ella was still trying to navigate her feelings, caught between wanting to share and fearing judgment. "Mom, can I go to my room?" Ella suddenly asked, her voice soft and almost pleading. The request was innocent enough, yet it felt like a retreat, a signal that perhaps the conversation had grown too heavy for her. Karen nodded, watching as Ella made her way up the stairs. The silence that followed was deafening. Karen felt a mix of frustration and sadness, knowing that her daughter was likely grappling with thoughts she couldn't yet articulate. She was determined to help Ella find her voice, to let her know that she would always be there to listen, no matter how difficult the conversation might be. As the morning turned to afternoon, Karen prepared herself for the conversation she had been dreading yet anticipating. She knew it would require patience, understanding, and a lot of love. Ella would need to feel safe to open up about her struggles, and Karen was ready to do whatever it took to bring light to the shadows that had been darkening her daughter's life for far too long. With her heart full of resolve, Karen took a deep breath and climbed the stairs, ready to face the challenges ahead, ready to bridge the gap that had formed between them. She knew that healing would take time, but she was determined to navigate this journey together with Ella, hand in hand, step by step. As she reached the top of the stairs, Karen paused outside Ella's door, her heart racing with anticipation and anxiety. She could hear the faint sound of music playing inside, a comforting melody that reminded her of the days when they would sing together in the car on long drives. It seemed like a world away now, the carefree moments overshadowed by the weight of the revelations she had uncovered. Taking a moment to steady herself, she gently knocked on the door. "Ella, can I come in?" she asked softly, trying to keep her voice steady. There was a brief pause before she heard a faint, "Yes, sure," from inside. With a deep breath, Karen opened the door and stepped into her daughter's sanctuary. The room was a reflection of Ella's personality. Posters of bands she loved adorned the walls. Art supplies were scattered across the desk, and a cozy quilt lay draped over the bed, inviting and warm. But as she looked around, she noticed that the vibrant colors and creative chaos felt muted, almost overshadowed by the heaviness that hung in the air. Ella was sitting cross-legged on her bed, her phone clutched in her hands. She looked up at her mother, her expression a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Karen could see the remnants of a smile on her face, but it didn't reach her eyes. Those once bright eyes were clouded with uncertainty, and the sight tugged at Karen's heart. "Hey, sweetie," Karen began, taking a seat on the edge of the bed. "I just wanted to check in with you. How are you doing?" Ella shrugged, her gaze dropping to her phone. "I'm fine, Mom. Just busy with school and stuff." Karen felt a pang of frustration at the evasiveness, but she reminded herself to stay calm. "I understand that school can be overwhelming sometimes, but I noticed you seemed a bit off this morning. Is there anything you want to talk about?" Ella shifted uncomfortably, her fingers fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. "Not really," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Karen's heart sank, knowing that this was the moment to tread carefully. "You know, I want you to know that you can talk to me about anything, right? No matter how small or big it may seem. I'm here for you." Ella looked up, her eyes meeting her mother's for the first time, and Karen could see a flicker of something. Fear, maybe, or the desire to be understood. It's hard sometimes, you know," Ella finally admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "School can be really tough." That single statement felt like a small breakthrough, a crack in the wall that Ella had built around her feelings. I can only imagine how tough it must be. Do you want to tell me more about it? Karen encouraged, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and trepidation. Ella hesitated, chewing her lip as she weighed her words. I don't fit in like I used to. It feels like everyone's moving on without me, and I don't know how to catch up. Her voice cracked, and it was as if the dam holding back her emotions had finally burst. Sometimes I feel really alone, even when I'm surrounded by people. Hearing the pain in her daughter's voice made Karen's chest tighten with empathy. Oh, Ella, I'm so sorry you feel that way. I wish I had known sooner. You're not alone in this. I'm here for you, always. Tears glistened in Ella's eyes, and she quickly wiped them away with the back of her hand. I didn't want to worry you. I thought I could handle it, but it got too much. I started this Instagram account because I needed a space to express myself, to share what I was feeling, but I didn't want you to find out. Karen reached for Ella's hand, intertwining her fingers with her daughter's. You can share anything with me. I promise I won't judge you. I just want to understand what you're going through. Ella looked down at their hands, her expression a mixture of relief and fear. It's hard to explain. The bullying, it's like it follows me everywhere. I try to ignore it, to pretend it doesn't hurt, but sometimes it just overwhelms me. And I feel so stupid for letting it get to me. You're not stupid, Ella. You're strong for facing this every day. It takes a lot of courage to keep going when things get tough, Karen replied, squeezing her hand gently. And remember, it's okay to feel sad or hurt. Those feelings are valid. As they sat in silence, Karen could feel the emotional weight shifting. Ella was beginning to open up, and Karen was determined to create an environment where her daughter could express her true self without fear of judgment. I want to help you, Karen said softly. We can talk about what's been happening, or if you prefer, we can find someone to help us navigate this together. Ella took a deep breath, her shoulders relaxing slightly. I don't know if I'm ready to talk to someone else yet, but I guess I could try to share more with you. It's just it feels embarrassing. Sharing your feelings is never embarrassing. It's brave, Karen reassured her. You're not alone in this, and I'm proud of you for opening up to me. We'll take this one step at a time, okay? Ella nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I guess I just want to feel like I belong again. It's like I'm invisible sometimes. Then let's work together to find ways to help you connect with others, to find your place again. We can look for clubs or activities that interest you, or even reach out to your friends and see what they're up to. You deserve to feel happy and supported, Karen suggested, her heart swelling with love for her daughter. In that moment, the tension in the room began to dissipate. Karen could see a flicker of hope in Ella's eyes, a spark that had been dimmed for far too long. I'd like that, Ella whispered, her voice regaining a hint of strength. Good, Karen replied, her heart lifting. And remember, I'm always here to listen, no matter what. You don't have to go through this alone. As they sat together, the bond between them began to strengthen, weaving threads of understanding and love through the cracks of Ella's heart. Karen knew that healing was a journey, filled with ups and downs, but they would face it together. She felt a sense of purpose and determination surging within her. She would do everything in her power to make sure her daughter felt seen, heard, and supported. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. The days that followed were a testament to their renewed connection. Karen made it a point to spend more quality time with Ella, engaging in activities that brought her joy. They painted together, went for walks, and even started a small garden in their backyard. With each shared experience, Karen noticed Ella's laughter returning, her spirit slowly rising from the depths of despair. Yet, Karen remained vigilant, aware that this was just the beginning of a long road to emotional healing. She encouraged Ella to share her feelings openly, assuring her that vulnerability was a strength, not a weakness. And while there were moments when Ella still retreated into her shell, Karen was always there to gently coax her back into the light. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Ella turned to her mother, a thoughtful expression on her face. I've been thinking about the things I want to change at school, she said, her voice steady. I want to stand up for myself and for others who might be feeling the same way I do. Karen felt a surge of pride as she listened to her daughter's resolve. That's a wonderful idea, Ella. You have a voice, and it deserves to be heard. You could even start a club focusing on kindness and support. I'm sure there are other kids who feel the same way you do. Ella's eyes brightened at the suggestion, and Karen felt a warmth spreading through her chest. I could talk to the guidance counselor about it. Maybe we could organize some activities to bring people together. Yes, that's a fantastic first step. I believe in you, and I'm here to help you however you need, Karen said, feeling a renewed sense of hope. As Ella walked inside to grab her notebook, Karen couldn't help but smile. The girl who had once felt so alone was beginning to find her voice again, and Karen was determined to support her every step of the way. They would face the challenges together, forging a new path filled with love, understanding, and resilience. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over their home, Karen knew that although the journey ahead would not be easy, it was one they would navigate together. The bond between mother and daughter had been tested, but through honesty and love, they were emerging stronger than ever. Karen made a silent promise to herself. No matter what, she would always be there for Ella, guiding her through the shadows to find the light once more. As Ella walked inside to grab her notebook, Karen felt a surge of optimism. She knew that the path to healing was a winding road, but with each conversation, each moment they shared, Ella was learning to reclaim her identity. The shadows that had loomed over her daughter were slowly beginning to lift, revealing the vibrant young woman Karen had always known existed beneath the surface. When Ella returned, her notebook in hand, she plopped down beside her mother on the porch swing, her face flushed with excitement. "Okay, I have some ideas for the club," she exclaimed, flipping open the pages to reveal a whirlwind of thoughts and sketches. "I want to call it the Kindness Collective. We could have weekly meetings, share our stories, and even do activities that promote positivity at school." Karen leaned in closer, enthusiasm bubbling within her. "That sounds amazing, Ella. What kind of activities do you want to include?" Ella's eyes sparkled as she began to list her ideas. "We could organize a compliment day where everyone writes nice notes to each other, or maybe a kindness wall where students can post positive messages. And we can even have guest speakers who can share their own experiences with bullying and resilience." Karen nodded, feeling a swell of pride. "These are fantastic ideas. You have such a gift for bringing people together. I can help you set up a meeting with the guidance counselor, and we can brainstorm more ways to get the word out." As they continued to discuss the club, Karen felt a renewed sense of hope for Ella's future. The passion radiating from her daughter reminded Karen of the time when Ella had been so carefree and full of dreams. The painful experiences she had endured were still fresh, but now they were being transformed into a powerful motivation to help others. In the following weeks, the Kindness Collective took shape. With Karen's encouragement, Ella reached out to her friends and classmates, inviting them to join her initiative. To her surprise, many students were eager to participate, their own stories of struggle echoing Ella's. What began as a small group quickly grew, creating a safe haven for students to share their experiences and support one another. Karen attended the first meeting, standing at the back of the room, watching with a heart full of pride. Ella stood confidently at the front, her voice steady as she welcomed everyone and laid out the purpose of their gathering. "This is a space for us to feel safe, to share our stories, and to spread kindness," she said, her eyes scanning the room filled with attentive faces. "We all have struggles, and together we can make a difference." The energy in the room was palpable, and Karen felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. She saw students who had once felt invisible, now finding a sense of belonging. They shared their stories, exchanged laughter, and even shed some tears, but most importantly, they found solidarity in their shared experiences. As the weeks turned into months, the club became a beacon of hope within the school. Ella flourished in her role as a leader, gaining confidence and strength as she continued to advocate for kindness and empathy. Karen worked alongside her, helping to organize events and initiatives that encouraged students to be more compassionate towards one another. One afternoon, as they prepared for a school-wide event focused on kindness, Ella turned to her mother. a thoughtful look crossing her face. "Mom, I really don't think I could have done any of this without you. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." Karen wrapped her arms around Ella, holding her close. "You did this, Ella. You found your voice and your purpose. I'm just so proud of you for taking the leap and helping others." As they hugged, warmth filled the space between them, a testament to the healing that had taken place. Ella had transformed her pain into a pathway for growth, not just for herself, but for countless others who were struggling in silence. The journey of healing was not linear, and there were still moments of doubt and sadness. But Karen knew they would face those challenges together. They had built a foundation based on trust, understanding, and love, and that bond would carry them through the storms of life. One evening, while they were cleaning up after a successful event, Ella turned to her mother with an earnest expression. "I want to keep this going, Mom. Maybe even expand it to other schools. I don't want anyone to feel alone like I did." Karen's heart swelled with pride. "That sounds like a wonderful idea, Ella. We can start planning how to reach out to other schools and create a network of kindness." With each passing day, Ella seemed to embody the essence of resilience, her journey transforming not only her own life, but also the lives of those around her. Together, they envisioned a future where kindness was the norm, a future where no one would have to suffer in silence. As they stood side by side, looking out at the sunset painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Karen realized that her daughter had come full circle. From the depths of despair to the heights of empowerment, Ella was no longer just a girl trying to navigate the challenges of adolescence. She was a catalyst for change, a beacon of hope for her peers. In that moment, Karen understood that the secret Instagram account had been a turning point, a painful revelation that had ultimately led to profound growth. Their journey had taught them both the importance of vulnerability, communication, and the power of love and healing. With renewed determination, they would continue to carve out a path of kindness and understanding, leaving behind a legacy that would resonate far beyond their own lives. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, hand in hand, ready to embrace the beauty of life with open hearts.